people, hello, it's Randee for Thunderhorse Descendant. We are here in the green room today, and we are going to be doing project number 1 of the mini series for Bargain Bead Box January 2022, the romance box. So I will refer you to the plan video that I put up yesterday, and I will link it here in the card somewhere. But those are all the plans that I have for January's Bargain Bead Box. So this is project number 1. I would say probably the most intense of the projects. So we're going to be using the big focal today, and I'm excited about it. So let's get down to the mat, get this party started. Okay guys, here we are on the mat, and these are all the items that we're going to be using in this project. So I'm just going to get them ready to roll. And this is going to be a kind of a multi-strand necklace from what I remember I said I wanted to do. I didn't think there was going to quite be enough of these 8 mils to go all the way up and around, so that's why I'm using 2 different colors. I'm just going to kind of mix those in together. But the smaller strand, I knew there wasn't going to be enough, so we're going to kind of figure out the mechanics of this here as we go. Okay, so I got my bead caps, and those are going to go on top of these guys here. And get this one ready to roll. Maybe. Okay. Come off of there. There we go. And then we have the carved flower coral beads, toggle clasp, and 3 charms. And so this is everything that we're going to be using for this project. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and get this ready to go. So I'm going to just move this up a little bit. And I guess we may as well start with the hardest part and see if I don't wreck it. So I have my my push hole punch, or my spinner hole punch here, and the reason, let's see, which side do I want to use? This is the bigger side. So it's important to note that if I tried to use a hand punch on this, it would definitely probably break my tool. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to punch through here and not break this one or the component itself. You never can tell. So here we go. Everybody just say a little prayer. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch. I'm going to punch right here in this little spiral. You see this little spiral? I'm going to punch right in the middle of both of those. Try to anyway. So let's see if I can get that lined up. Yeah, there's not much light here. Okay, 1 second. I gotta get it lined up. Okay, I'm pretty sure that is where I want to be. And so I'm just going to twist. Just hand twisting the tool. And I feel like I'm good. Yeah, so I was able to get right in there and do, you can see my finger, do a little hole right there. Do I have a file in here? I should file that down. So now the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. We should be good to go. Yep. You can see that one too. So I do have to see if I can grab a file to file these down real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, so I found my little file and I'm just gonna file this down a smidge. On both sides so it's not pokey. That looks pretty good. So that is good to go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off some of these links. So I'm going to cut off, I'm going to try to leave the middle one. We'll see how that goes. I really should have a different cutter for this because I don't really want to use my flush cutter. Okay, so I'm going to use this cutter. I use this to cut like memory wire sometimes, and I use it to cut like harder stuff. So let's see if we can get this to work out. So there's one. So I'm squeezing this. I will say this one's not very sharp, but I'm also kind of like bending the pendant back and forth to help it kind of come off. And I'm just staying on this edge right here of the actual pendant. And we're doing pretty good. Now I'm going to try to get in here and get this one, which could be a little complicated, but I'm going to try it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get in there with that tool. Let me see if I can maybe snap it off. Struggle is real. There we go. So I'm going to come in here and kind of go sideways a little bit to make it a little weaker. And then I'm going to grab it with this kind of like heavier duty or chain nose and kind of snap it off. So that seemed to work. So now what I need to do is I need to take my file and I need to go in here and I'm going to go one direction as to not make it sharp. but there are a few little things I gotta clean up here. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now, a thing you could do if you had some patina paints is you could go around here with your little copper patina paint and you could make an edge on it, or even if you don't have patina paint, you could even go with a black Sharpie just go around the edge just to kind of fill in that silver if you happen to see any of it, but I think we're doing pretty good. Of course, you can see it from this side, the silver portion where I've filed. So that's the portion I'm talking about painting. Since I am in a situation where I do not have that, I'm just making sure everything is cleaned up here. And I'm going to kind of give the rest of it a little bit of a worn look because that's what I got to work with right now. There we go. All right, we're good to go on that. So now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect on my charms. So this whole part's going to be ready to go. So I'm going to get some red bronze or antique copper jump rings. And I'm going to go ahead and put those on. And I'm just going to flip this closure of the jump ring to the back. I thought I had it, but apparently I did not. There we go. And I'm going to do these other ones. If you hear some very interesting stuff in the background, Grandma and Grandpa are watching a show about the oil field. So, there we go. We got that all ready to rock. So now I'm thinking what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to start on these here before I move into the second one, because when I bring the second portion up, I'm going to attach it into the beads that are already going to be there, so there has to be beads there to attach it to. So let me get my beading wire wherever I put that. That's blue. That's not what I want. Okay, so I got a little heavy here, and know that I necessarily am going to be able to use heavy on these. So I am going to track down, well, I'll use heavy for this and then I'll use 19 strand for the other. Actually, if I use 19 strand on both, then I could string it all the way to the top. Okay, I'm going to find the 19 strand beading wire. Hi guys. Okay, editing Randee here. So this is day 2 of me trying to make this project. It's not the project's fault. I just, there's a lot of noise and things going on in the house, and stuff happening because I'm here in North Dakota in the green room. So I've already completed 1/2 of the necklace. So I'm going to put that in fast forward so you can see me doing that. And then I will show you in detail how I'm making the second half, and hopefully it'll be a little quieter. So that's what we're going to do. Let's get down to the mat, get this party started. Okay guys, here we are on the mat. So like I said, I've already completed this side of the necklace. So what I'm going to do is show you how to make the other side in detail. What I have is I have 2 pieces of the 19 strand bead-along stringing wire, and I have them in about 24 inches. You don't really need that much, but just to be safe. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this first one and I'm going to hook on to the bottom part here. Let me zoom it in. This bottom part where I have created that hole. And I'm just going to thread this through. And I'm going to get myself a crimp bead, and I'm going to go through there. Okay, so I'm going to get that ready to crimp. Now, I do have a little bit of space so that this can move, so I'm not tightening it right up to there because you never know, we might need a little space to move around. And to crimp that. Oop. Okay, crimper. Crimpy crimp. There we go. Had to get a hold of it. So we got that one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing on the top, right here in this loop. So everything is ready to go. The reason for this is that when I get my beads put on the lower strand, I am going to put these 2 strands together and I'm going to put them both through the stone beads. So I'm just getting that ready to go. And I'll crimp this. All right, and now we are ready to go. So I am going to trim these tails off just a smidge because we don't need all that. There we go. And we are going to start with the lower portion. And I'm going to put on 4 of these little coral, man-made coral beads. Four. And then I'm going to make sure my tail is going into that first one there. Sticks in there pretty good. There we go. And then I'm going to put on the carved floral coral bead. And then I'm going to add, let's see, 2, 4, 6 more of these little red guys. So we will have some of these left over, but that's fine because I know in that end project, that bracelet project I talked about, we are going to need some little extra. So 3 on there. And 4. Some of mine have this kind of like, you can tell where they were painted. Like coating kind of situation going on, so that they're a little hard to get on the string, but nonetheless they're working. Okay, so this is what we have for that. We're just going to leave that for now, and we move on to the top strand. Now on the top strand, I have a little pattern going. I have red, and then I'm capping the brown. Mine are brown. They said they were purple on the sheet, but mine are more of like a brown color. So I'm capping those, and I'm adding caps to just the brown for right now. So that's what I have. And then right here is where we are going to go ahead and we are going to attach the red strand. So I made this red strand a little longer so that it kind of puffs out a little bit. If you want yours to be a little more longer, you can, you know, of course, add more beads or whatever you want to do. But right here, I'm going to take both strings together. Let me just cut these even so that I don't have so much of a problem. Okay, and I'm going to grab one of the red and put it on both strands. And so this is what is going to bring together your 2 strands. Okay, so now I'm just going to continue with both strands for the remainder of the necklace, and I'm going to cap the brown. And this will be the last of the caps. Originally, I wanted to cap all of the beads, but there was not enough for me to do that. So this is what we got. And then I'm just alternating red, brown, red, brown. Zoom me out a little bit so you can see. So I'm just alternating red, brown, red, brown. I'm going to move these down here so I don't have to keep reaching across. And we're going to keep going. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 with no caps. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to do another 4 like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here I'm going to put on the other carved bead. And I'm going to utilize this in my pattern like it's a red bead. So instead of going brown and then starting up here with red, I'm going to do brown, red, brown. Okay, so we just put the rest of these on. And the number on this is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And on the end over here, I had to end with 2 red. So I'm going to end with 2 red on this side. And that's because I don't know if I had lost one or maybe there was only so many, but I didn't have even number of brown. What happened with that? So anyway, I got 2 red on the end here. So I'll put those on. And then I'm adding 2, 4, 6 more of the small coral for length. Because I'm using a toggle on here. 1, 2. So I just figured better safe than sorry. Like if I was using, a different clasp, I could put an extender and there wouldn't be wouldn't be any issue with it. But I thought since I'm using the clasp from the box, I might as well add a little length here. So I need 2 more. And then we're going to go ahead and crimp this. Now I did crimp this on to a jump ring just in case I needed to add more length for some reason. And so I'm going to do that again on this side. And I have this one. This one is from my own stash. It is a twisted, or like a, I don't know, a decorative oval red bronze jump ring. So I'm just going to close that up, make sure it's good and closed up. And I'm going to attach onto that. So I'm just pulling everything down because down here we do have this little space here and I want to make sure that that's kind of as tight as possible. So I'm going to pull individual strands to tighten. Okay. And it looks like we're doing pretty good there. And then I'm going to get my crimp bead. I go through both strands, put on my jump ring, and then back through the crimp bead. So the thing with this is that the man-made coral, little red beads, they were not big enough to hold the tail. So when I'm crimping here, I'm going to put on 2, let me show you. I'm going to put on 2 bead caps, one to cover the tail up to make sure it doesn't poke, and one to cover up the actual crimp bead. So I am going to leave a little extra space for that because I wasn't able to get these back into these little beads here. That's just a personal preference. So I'm going to just move this up a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to crimp it. So there we go. Pull test looks good. And then I am going to cut it pretty short. Go. And I've got 1 crimp bead and I need another. Or sorry, bead cover. Excuse me, bead cover. And I'm going to load this up on here. Make sure it's the right way. And then I'm going to go ahead and cover this. And then I'm going to take the second one and I'm going to put it right on the tail just to cover that up. So in essence, it's like it's in a bead even though it's not. Okay, so let me zoom you out. So there we go. And then I'm going to just go ahead and open this up and attach my toggle. Maybe. There we go. Okay, make sure it's good and tight. Alrighty, so there we go. We got a few extra bits left over. But this is what the necklace is looking like. Also having these little smaller beads help, in my opinion, helps with the toggle situation. But it turned out great. I really like it a lot. Yeah, I think it's super cute. I could add some bead covers here if I would like. I guess maybe I will. Just to make it look a little more finished. That's up to you, but I really like how this turned out. I hope that you guys are enjoying these videos, and this is the completed project number 1 of, what is it, 5? I think there's 5. So there you go. I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you are, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can find me again on the internet, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.